Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone. This is lecture number 8. In our previous lectures, we used Python to write programs using if, for, and while. Today, we will learn a very important concept in programming called functions. A function is something that helps us to do a task easily. Python already gives us many ready-made functions. These are called built-in functions. Today we'll learn what a function is, what built-in functions are, and how to use some of them. So what is a function? A function is a block of code that does a specific job. Instead of writing the same code again and again, we use a function to do that work for us. Just like a calculator has buttons for add, subtract, and multiply, you press a button and the work is done. In Python, functions work in the same way. What are built-in functions? Built-in functions are the functions that are already provided by Python. We do not need to create them, we just use them. For example, print shows the output, range gives the number, for loops, these you have already used. We have already been using functions like print and range without knowing they are called the functions. So how to use a function? Now, general idea for function is that you write the function name and then you write the values inside the parentheses. The values you write inside the parentheses are called the arguments. So we write the function name, we give the data inside the brackets. Python does the work for us. So let's take some examples of using the built-in function. So for example, if I write print you understand is a function name, and whatever I write inside the um, uh, parenthesis will be displayed. But remember, for displaying the string or characters, we need the quotes. So as I've written here, so hello students, right? So if I run this block, it will display hello students. Okay, let's add some more blocks, sorry, cells, and let's try do some more examples. So for example, I write, you understand about the print. Now, again, if I write here, print and I write 10, so you understand it will display 10. So you see, in the first case, I have given it string or character, so it displayed the string or character, that is hello students. In the second case, I just wrote the integer value, that is 10, inside the brackets, and it printed or it displayed on the screen. Let's talk about the second example is the range function, right? Range is again a built-in function, and normally we use it in for loop. So again, I write for I in say range. For example, we take -10 to say 10 in the increments or steps of say 4. Okay, so you understand we need to write the colon, and again you see the important thing, that is the indentation. So it is here already. So if I want to print I, so you understand what it will print, right? It will print, mistakenly, instead of writing 4, I have written 40 here. So let me make it 4. Let's rerun. So you understand, at first it will print -10, then because we have given it the increment of 4, so -10 plus 4 is -6, then again -6 plus 4 is -2, and so on, and because it may go up to 10. Okay, so 6 plus 10 is basically 6 plus 4 is basically 10, but you understand that this one is the stop point. So stop point is always the number you write here minus the 1. So that means it maximum can go up to 9. Let's take another built-in function, say that is the input, right? So for example, I write name is equal to input, you understand, is again a built-in function. Enter your name, okay? And you also understand that basically, and whatever we gave from the keyboard, the Python takes it as integer or, sorry, not integer, string or text. Okay, so input is a built-in function which is used for using values from the keyboard. Now if I write print is again the built-in function name. Okay, so uh, when I run this code, it will ask me for the name. So for name is maybe John, John. If I enter this one, then you see the print function displays the John. Again, the other built-in function you are very familiar with is the int function. Int function converts the number from the string or float into integer. So let's take example x equals to, for example, int. Now int, we take input. Okay, so or maybe we write two different function. Let's write two different. Okay, so let's write here input from keyboard, input number from keyboard. Okay, num keyboard is equal to, for example, input, and then I write enter any number. Okay, so hopefully you understand that again input is the built-in function. So to use built-in function, we write its name and inside the parenthesis its argument. Okay, so again here in this case we use another built-in function that is called int. And what does int do? It converts whatever you provide it at input or as an argument. It will convert this into the integer. Okay, so if I print, for example, x plus 5. Okay, so let's run it. Now input requires input, so say we have 10. Now if I enter 10, you see the output is 10 plus 5, 15. So you see all these are the input, the built-in functions, and you understand how we use the built-in function. Another very important type or most frequently used built-in function is the type. Okay, type. Type tells you which data type you have. For example, if I write x equals to 10 and I say print type of x. Okay, so it will print what mistake? Oh, sorry, one parenthesis is missing. So you see, its class or type is int. Whereas if we say, for example, for example, y is equal to, for example, John, John. Okay, and if I say print type of y, okay, so what type it should show. You understand, hopefully, right? So in this case, the class is string. So hopefully you understand about the type function. It tells you which type of data it is, whether it's a integer, it's a float. For example, if I write uh, x is equal to, for example, float and input, and then I say enter any number. So maybe better option is that I just show you how the input type is. Okay, so input, for example, control X, and to show you that whatever you take from the input is basically string type. So I say x1 is equal to input, enter any number, okay, and then I convert this into x1 into a float, and then I say print type of, say, x1. So you understand type of x1 will be string. Print type of, let's call it x2. So print type of x2. Okay, so hopefully you understand that whatever you take from input, okay, it is basically a string class. So it will have data type of string, whereas x2 we have converted it into float, so it will show us the float class. So for example, I enter 10, so it says that x1 has data type of or class of string, whereas x2 has float. Similarly, if I write here, for example, print, uh, like I convert it also to um, int class. So I write x3 is equal to int, and I write x1. So you see, I am using the built-in function input here. So you understand we need to write the name of the built-in function, and in parentheses we need to provide its arguments. Okay, again we are using the built-in function, that is float, and hopefully you understand the function of all of these. So we are using built-in function float, so we must be very careful that the name should have the same spelling. So it cannot have any capital one or all capital one and so on, because Python is case sensitive. So we need to write the exact spelling in small. So that is the function name, and then what it wants as input. So it wants as an input x1. So what it will do, it will convert whatever you provide it as input, it will convert into float. Similarly, int. So int is a function, built-in function, and what does it do? It converts whatever you provide it as input into integer. So how to use a function? To use a function, you write its name. So that means input, float, int, and print. These are all are functions. Okay, so let's try type x3. Okay, so when I run it, yes, because I didn't write one parenthesis. So it says, okay, give me again, if I did write the same 10, or it will give me, you understand, that about the x1, which is input. So it will have class of string, a type of string, float, because we have converted x1 into float. So x2 will have the float class, and similarly x3 will have the um, int class. Python has many built-in functions, but today we learned only a few. important ones. We do not need to define built-in functions. Python already has them and we only need to use them correctly. So you understand, to use the functions correctly, we need to write its name with correct spelling, and also the type means whether it's a small letter or capital letter. Normally the built-in functions has the small letters, so you have right to like this. If I write, for example, float with capital, so you understand what will happen. Okay, it asks for this. When I enter, so you see it gives the line number 2 mistake, right? So this is line 1, this is 2, because I have written the wrong spelling. So you cannot write the wrong spelling. Okay. So the list of built-in functions you use today, you can write this on the board to memorize them. So that's a print, shows the output, range, not necessarily on the board. You can write it on your copy so that you read it few times so that you get, clear understanding how to call it and what function does it perform, and what argument does it need. So range gives you number of numbers for loops, numbers for loop, right? And input takes the input from the user. Int converts the value to integer. Type tells the type of the data. Similarly, you can say float, right? So what does it do? It converts the value into, right? Converts value to integer. So hopefully you understand all these things. Let's have a practice problem. So these are practice problems for you. Hopefully you will perform them, and please do them so that you have clear understanding and the things you learn today are gets wrote into your brain. So to summarize, we learned what a function is and what built-in functions are. A function is a block of code that does a specific job. Built-in functions are already provided by the Python. We use important built-in functions like print, range, input, int, and type, etc. These functions help us write program easily and quickly. In the next lecture, we will learn how to create our own functions called our own functions. These are called the user-defined functions. So whatever function you write by yourself, they are called as the user-defined functions. So I will also send these coding stuff into the GitHub. So frequently check there, and see you in the next class. Until then, goodbye.